Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I'm the creator and author of the Get Resultsology system and a dedicated accountability coach. My mission is to empower solopreneurs to unlock their true potential, boost their income, and achieve extraordinary success by maximizing productivity, streamlining their businesses, and aligning their goals with their authentic vision and purpose. So, if you're ready to turn ambition into action and transform your goals into reality, then you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I am delighted to welcome today our guest, Cameron DePutter. Cameron is a storytelling specialist who helps people turn their ideas into messages that actually matter. With over 2 decades in communications and more than 10 years running his own business, he's worked behind the scenes on best-selling books, high-impact courses, keynote speeches, and more. His focus isn't just on writing or editing, but on helping people find clarity, shape their message, and express themselves in a way that truly resonates. So whether it's refining a big idea or crafting a powerful story, Cameron brings deep strategic insight and a commitment to authenticity. Cameron, welcome to Goalbusters.
Hi, Robin. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Absolutely welcome. And whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, a beautiful part of the world, I hear. It's long been on my list of places to go, and I've never made it.
Yeah, you should come sometime.
Thank you. That's what I was inquiring for. I'll be there tomorrow. All right. No. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe by the weekend. All right. Okay. Shall we do the questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's get the clock up on the screen. And there it goes. Cameron, could you please tell us, who is your ideal client?
Yeah, my ideal client is a leader. There may be a founder of a business, solopreneur, as you mentioned, and they're a thought leader where they want to be. And they have big ideas they're passionate about, they're mission driven, and they know that in order to grow their business and make the kind of impact they want to make, they need to communicate more and communicate better and tell better stories. And they may have a specific project in mind with that as well, where they want to write a book, they want to create a course or a certification, or they just regularly want to communicate more and better with their audiences. And they want to do that in a way that's effective, but also that is authentic to them, that feels good and meaningful to them. And they're looking to collaborate with a communications partner.
Perfect. And you've actually answered quite a lot of the second question, which is what is the problem that you solve? But I'm sure you solve more than one, and you're very welcome to elaborate on the points you're making.
Yeah, sure. So, folks like this often, it's like, communicating is important, but it's not necessarily your strong suit. You might not necessarily consider yourself the best storyteller or writer. And a lot of folks too, they struggle to make time for this, even though they know it's a priority. They might have a hard time making the time to focus on their communications and not just to write, but to do the real thinking that's required, the critical thinking, the thoughtfulness. And they know they can't do it alone.
Excellent. All right, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. You did indeed elaborate, and that's very much clearer for me as well. So what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them to solve that problem, please, Cameron?
So I would suggest taking 10 minutes a day and writing in a journal or a notebook. And you can use that time to reflect on that big idea, that thing that you're passionate about, the messages and topics that you really care about. But you could also just write. It could just be free writing. You could think about experiences that have happened to you, stories that you have in your life, or whatever's on your mind. It could even just be a brain dump. And I think for a lot of folks, when they think about writing at all, they think about jumping to the end, doing something that is going to be, the end product that they're going to be able to use. And what I'm advocating for is to just spend this time free writing, non-judgmental. Maybe you will go back and use it someday, but don't go into it with that intent. Just give yourself the time to write. And that's going to do a few things. So, like I said, yeah, you may gather material and, more thinking to use in future communications, but you may also just have like practice getting in the habit of spending this time on your own writing. If that's something that's important to you, that it's something you want to do, the more often you sit down and just do that for a few minutes, the more you are going to kind of get in the groove and train your brain to do it and kind of train yourself to make time for it.
Oh, you've been reading my book. I was talking about getting into the groove in my book. You haven't really, but yeah, I don't think I was original thought on my part. I was also thinking while you were saying that, yeah, you should see how many word salads I created following what you're saying there.
Ah,
Thank goodness my son helped me edit it afterwards.
that's it. That's it. Get it all down and you can edit it later.
That's right. Absolutely right. All right. So now we have a better understanding of what you do, Cameron. Let's dive into goal busting, focusing on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. So, could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits, please?
Yeah. So I think my number one tip on this is to create and use more time for the thinking. And that means stripping out some of the doing. So we live in a culture that is so focused on more, more, more. If you're on social media, you're looking and you're scrolling, you're seeing tons of stuff that's grabbing your attention all the time. If you're a leader in an organization, if you're running your own business, there's probably a lot of things that need your attention. You're used to refreshing your email. There's stuff to grab your attention all the time. If you want to be productive as a thought leader, if you want to actually get that book written, if you want to write that regular newsletter, if you want to do this kind of work, we actually need to create some space in our minds for the thinking, for the thoughts. So my recommendation is to be very critical as to what you're giving your attention to and when. And that may mean, spending less time, for example, on social media and being more deliberate about using whatever pockets of time you have to do that deep thinking work. So if you are standing in line at the store, you might be tempted to like open up your phone and instead what is that thing that you're going to write your book about? Or what is that topic that came up today in a meeting or in a conversation? And you kind of have some thoughts about it, but you haven't totally thought it through. Maybe you disagreed with someone, you're not sure why. Spend the time to think that through with yourself. If you have the opportunity to make notes, if you have a notebook with you, if you have your phone and you're going for a walk and you want to record on a voice app, great. But even just spending the time thinking. And so this means actively kind of being a bit more aware of how you're spending your time, not just what you're doing, but where your thoughts are going.
Yeah, underline, exclamation mark, double underline. Totally agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was slightly slightly off topic, but not really. I was at the doctor's this morning making an appointment to see the nurse about something, a minor thing, and I said, "Could you just write that down for me?" I know it's only Thursday, but by the time I walked out the door, I will have forgotten. And she looked at me and I said, "You know how busy our minds are." And she said, "Oh God, yeah, there's so much stuff going on." Well, if you escalate that up to making time to think about writing, there is so much stuff competing for your space in your mind. You have to clear that space. You have to make the time. I think that's what you're getting at.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think you can do that as well by carving out some deliberate time for that. Like I said, 10 minutes in the morning, or another tip I have is to go for a walk, because actually just going outside, getting some fresh air, looking at something different, being away from a screen, and give yourself that deliberate time to focus on that, that particular idea, that project you're working on, use it for your thinking time.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I waffled on and took up some of your time, so I'm still going to ask the final question, if you don't mind, which is, what should I have asked you today, Cameron, that I didn't? And your answer, please.
So my answer to that is not a question for me, but a question that I would want to ask your audience, which is, why do you want to be more productive? What do you want to be more productive for? And in particular, what is that thing that you really care about that you do want to spend your time on, right? Like if you were to get hit by a bus tomorrow, what is the thing you would regret not leaving behind? Is there a book in you? Is there a message? Are there people you want to help? What is that space, that thing that you really want to leave behind that matters to you? Because again, I think it can be very easy to feel like I just need to be more productive and do more stuff all the time. But like, let's pause and think about the thing that really matters to you the most. And then that's going to help you make more time for it anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad I asked you that question because that was a beautiful answer. Because I talk about it all the time. You know, I work with people to help them get more productive. But rule number one is why? Why do you want to be more productive? You won't be more productive if you can't get your head around why you're doing it. What's your purpose? What's your core vision? What's your personal life vision? Where are you going with it? And you've just said that very eloquently. So thank you for that, Cameron.
Thank you.
And speaking of being eloquent and I want to segue now into how can people reach you? How can they get hold of you? And is there like a valuable free resource they could get from you as well? Because that's always a good way of connecting with your offer and finding out more about you.
Yeah, for sure. So they can come and visit me on my website at Cam DePutter, CamDeputter.com. And I have a free resource there that will transform your writing. It's got some secrets in it for improving your writing right off the bat. That's going to kind of give you a bit of a jump start if you're looking to communicate better. And I also write a newsletter. I tell stories. I tell personal stories there. I get real with people. And so they can also join my newsletter there.
Fantastic. And I was having a look at your website earlier today. It's a very interesting website, and I do highly recommend people do take you up on your offer and go over and have a proper look around. So thank you for that, Cameron. It's been great, actually. I felt very enlightened and very encouraged to know that there are people like you working in the world, improving our storytelling, which, you know, I learned a long time ago. Like, storytelling is how people communicate. That is what we do. And if anybody ever doubts that, just look at the movie industry, the book industry, the TV industry. It's all stories. People love stories. Look at people going to the hairdressers. They're telling stories while they're having their hair done. Not that that matters for me anymore. It's in ancient history, but people love stories. That's how we communicate. It's a very, very valuable service you're offering.
Well, thank you. And at the end of the day, communication is about connection, right? It's about how we connect with each other. And it's one of the most fundamental, most important things in our lives. So I also really want to encourage and celebrate people doing it and investing their effort in it.
Yes, brilliant. Thank you. And I'm going to give you the last word on that. So Cameron DePutter, thank you very, very much indeed. It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to meet you today.
Appreciate it, Robin. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And remember, keep goal busting and make your future self proud. Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate and review it on your favourite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.